J. Caddy Beats from Phoenix, Arizona, and you're watching Hot Facts with my boy Robert Reese.
I got a good one here, Roy, that I think you might like. Why does America help the countries its citizens dislike, and does this create hate?
Oh, of course, yeah. Of course it does. Well, we know why do they help the countries and citizens? Its citizens don't like it's because it's not up to us. It's up to the people at the top. And I don't think it's the citizens don't like. I don't just hate any citizen of any country. My whole thing boils down to is these countries need to fend for themselves. We fought a war to get to where we are in this country. A lot of fucking men died to make this country what it is,
Right.
And this idea that we need to help all these other people. No, these other people need to take the steps to help themselves first. And if they're not even taking the steps to help themselves, why the fuck are we helping them? Not to mention these countries have been like this for thousands of years. What makes them think all of a sudden because the U.S. is involved somehow it's going to change what's been already happening for thousands of fucking years? That's already inbred in their system. That I don't like these people. We don't like these people. We're going to continue to war for thousands of years. Oh, look, it's America. Let's stop. No, it ain't going to fucking happen. It's a waste of fucking American money, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think that's what creates the hate. That's what creates the hate, because why am I having to fucking fork out 30% of my paychecks every week to give it to somebody that I'd rather give it to the homeless man on the corner or keep it for my fucking self? Why am I giving somebody else the fucking shit? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And we got our own citizens here that we should be helping. Now, when I was doing the Child Fund International and the fundraising, when I would try to get these people to, to help sponsor kids in these third world countries, and one of the main questions they would always ask is, how come they're not doing this for our people here? And that was one of the main ones when I was like, well, I have to keep it all the way real with some of these people. I was like, look, these third world kids, you see the pictures and things that they put up there. They pretty much don't have nothing. And our Americans here say that, well, you can just help yourselves. And then it's crazy because more Americans will help someone else in another country rather than help the people here. And while me being outside the stores and getting people to come up and talking to them, it's true. Americans here, and it's crazy, Americans here would rather sign up or help me see. And some of the people would ask me, why are we not doing it for people here? And I would tell them, and they would still sign up to help the kids in the other country. Well, and I'm just sitting there like, wow. But if we try to start something here, we'll get a lot of citizens saying that we don't want to get our taxes raised to go help our own. They need to go fix the taxes so it goes in like the reverse thing, to where it's mostly coming in helping us out, and then we kick out whatever we got left over. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, everything. We should take care of ours first before we ever send money somewhere else. Period. So.
Yeah. And people, I know a lot of you guys out there are sensitive. A lot of you guys are with your political parties and everything else like that. Let me tell you this here. I am a true independent. I'm a true indie. I'm not Republican. I'm not even part of the independent party. I am a true indie. I look at the laws and things that we need to vote on. I do that, and I look at everything. So when it comes down to stuff like this, I look at the overall big picture before I just go ahead and say something. And I really do think that we got it backwards with our own citizens here. And it's crazy because we got our own people here that want to start businesses, but they won't even let them get a chance. And all you got to do is come from someplace else, get here. They'll give you everything in order. You can start your business, get that in there, and within 5 years, your whole family that you're about to have is blowing up. And we got people here that can't even get a chance. So I just feel a certain way about that. They talk about the American dream, but it seems like they took the American dream away from the Americans and they are sliding it over to other people.
Exactly.
Let them get the American dream so that they can feel extra happy and special when it's making us hurt more. So
Yeah, and
that's what I feel about that.
that's what creates the hate. And that's what creates the hate because it's like us, bro. We've been working, you're 41, I'm 50, I'm 51. We have busted our ass since we were 16 years old working, giving into a system, and then when we actually need to use the system that we've paid into, we don't even get it. But they give it to somebody who just jumped the border a week ago. They get more than what we did, and we've paid into the system for 30 years. But yet I jumped the border 2 weeks ago, and I get everything more than the fucking Americans do. That's what creates the hate. People get pissed off at that. It's like, why the fuck am I paying all this money out of my shit for myself later on in life if they're just going to give it to somebody who just jumped the border 2 weeks ago or whatever the case, or whoever they decide to give it to? You know what I'm saying? So that's what creates the hate. You know?
Yeah, and people, it is hate.
And really what even creates more hate is when these people that we are helping that just jumped the border 2 weeks ago show no appreciation for the help, and they want to ask for more, or we need better, we need this and that, when we have our own Americans who paid into the system fucking barely struggling eating ramen noodles and shit. So that's another thing that creates the hate. It's like, you're not even happy with what we're giving you, that you want to try now to dictate, I have the best schools, I want the best shoes, we want the best clothes, the best food, while your Americans who paid into a system their whole life is eating ramen noodles and being looked at like the second-class citizen, versus the person that just jumped the border 2 weeks ago being treated like a citizen. That's fucked up. So that's what creates that hate.
Yeah, and people, the hate is so real that, in the gig economy, because that's where it's turning into, we got people just going in the places to go try to pick up an order and looking in the parking lot to see if someone don't look like they here and saying, well, they're illegal. So it creates hate, people. No matter what, it creates hate. Could you imagine this, people? You going to pick up a delivery order and you walk into a place and you fight somebody because you think they illegal and their order is better than yours? Could you imagine that? That's that bullshit hate it brings bullshit hate. It brings up hate nonstop, and it's crazy because that's how the separation comes, where people will just want to be in their own sex sections, and I want to hang here, and I don't want to go mix in and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, I said that in the live stream. If you're a gig worker and you're doing nothing but gig work, you really can't sit there and say, well, the immigrants are hurting us, the immigrants are doing this or that. Because like you said, you can't really tell an illegal immigrant from a regular person just by looking at them. But see, somebody in my position where I do work a W-2, see, I have more of we as W-2s get more of an opportunity to be able to tell who's actually an illegal immigrant versus a legal immigrant, because we're dealing with it. We're seeing the different this, the different that. They're not able to speak, not knowing, understanding shit and shit like that. Versus any gig worker just walks up. I think that guy, because he's Hispanic, he's illegal. Well, you can't do that by looking at somebody. Like, come on, bro, that's just ignorance. But somebody in my case, when I have people coming in, they speak absolutely no English. It says Maria on the account, but yet it's a Juan picking it up. Most legal Hispanic immigrants, they do know some English, so they can get by enough. Let's fucking be honest. They've been here long enough that they can get by. A new, fresh, illegal immigrant, they know absolutely dick, and you can tell that they don't know how to read the instructions. They're having trouble working the app because they don't understand it. Most legal immigrants, they understand it. They do understand some English, and they can get that shit across to you. But I've had situations, bro, where they just point the phone at me, and I'm having to do it like I'm having to physically show them shit in order for them to even be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I have more of an opportunity. I can actually speak more to the illegal immigrant situation because I'm actually the one that's dealing with them directly. Whereas if you're just a gig worker looking at people in the parking lot, you can't tell dick. You can't tell dick by that.
You can't tell nothing. And like you said, from a W-2, if someone works in a W-2, they're normally going to be doing stuff in the back. They're not going to be involved with dealing with everybody else out there in case someone does walk into the place. They're normally helping out in the back, doing other stuff like that. They're not going to be all out in the mix. And then, like Roy said he sees them when they go ahead and come in, so he would have a better judgment on. Now, even though he may not be 100%, but the percentage of him being able to tell was much higher than someone sitting in the parking lot, is what we're trying to say to people.
Exactly.
Much higher.
Exactly.
Much higher. Well, Roy, look, man, I want to say thank you for coming on, because that's my show. I want to go over that. Go.